The wars between Đại Việt and Champa, 10th-15th century, a legacy of conflict. Introduction, two neighbors, centuries of strife. For over 5 centuries, from the dawn of Vietnamese independence in the 10th century to the cusp of the early modern era, the history of Southeast Asia was inextricably linked to the fierce rivalry between two powerful neighbors, Đại Việt in the north and the maritime kingdom of Champa in the south. These weren't just occasional border skirmishes. They were a relentless series of wars, raids, and political maneuvers that profoundly shaped the destiny of both peoples. What fueled this enduring conflict? Was it merely a struggle for land? Or were deeper forces at play, like economic competition, cultural differences, and competing imperial ambitions? Join us as we delve into the long and often bloody history of the wars between Đại Việt and Champa, tracing their causes, key events, and the devastating consequences that ultimately reshaped the map of Southeast Asia. Chapter 1. The roots of conflict, territorial, economic, and political rivalries. The seeds of conflict between Đại Việt and Champa were sown early, rooted in geographical proximity and contrasting strategic interests. Đại Viet's southern expansion. After centuries of Chinese domination, Đại Việt gained independence in the 10th century. With its heartland in the fertile Red River Delta, Đại Việt faced geographical constraints for northward expansion due to the powerful Chinese Empire. This naturally directed its expansionist ambitions southward along the narrow coastal plains, bringing it into direct contact and conflict with Champa. This Nam Tien was a core driver of Vietnamese foreign policy. Champa's maritime economy and raids. Champa, a confederation of maritime trading city-states, thrived on controlling trade routes and resources along the coast. While engaging in legitimate trade, Cham forces also frequently resorted to piracy and raiding, especially targeting Đại Viet's southern borders. These raids, often aimed at plunder and capturing slaves, were a constant source of friction and provided Đại Việt with justifications for punitive expeditions. Competing ideologies and legitimacy. Đại Việt, heavily influenced by Confucianism and a centralized agrarian state model from China, often viewed Champa's more decentralized, maritime-focused, and Hindu-Buddhist polities as uncivilized or barbarian. This sense of cultural superiority fueled Vietnamese expansionism, seeing it as a mission to bring civilization. Strategic control of passes. Key geographical features, like the Hai Van Pass, became strategic choke points, controlling access between the northern and southern territories. Control over these passes was crucial for both military and economic dominance. Chapter 2. A century of campaigns, from Lê Huan to Lý Thánh Tông. The 10th and 11th centuries set the pattern for future conflicts, characterized by repeated Vietnamese incursions and Cham counterattacks. Lê Huan's invasion, one of the earliest major wars, occurred in 982. Following Cham raids and the imprisonment of a Vietnamese envoy, Lê Huan led a massive Đại Việt army south. They captured and sacked Indrapura, Champa's capital at the time, killing the Cham king. This marked a decisive Vietnamese victory and forced Champa to move its capital further south to Vijaya. This war firmly established Đại Viet's military superiority and its willingness to project power southward. Lý Dynasty expeditions. The subsequent Lý Dynasty continued the aggressive policy. 1044. Another major campaign saw Lý Thái Tông defeat Cham forces, kill King Jayasimhavarman II, and sack Vijaya, bringing back significant plunder, including the Royal Ballet Troupe. 1069. Lý Thánh Tông launched a campaign, capturing King Rudravarman III. To secure his release, the Cham king was forced to cede 3 northern provinces to Đại Việt. This was a significant territorial gain for Đại Việt and pushed its southern border further south, incorporating areas that would become parts of modern Quang Binh and Quang Tri provinces. These early wars established a pattern of Đại Viet's military dominance, leading to the annexation of Cham territories and a gradual southward shift of the border. Chapter 3. Shifting Tides and Mongol Interlude. The 12th and 13th centuries saw a more complex interplay of powers, with Champa sometimes forming alliances and both kingdoms facing the existential threat of the Mongol Empire. Khmer-Cham Vietnamese Triangle. Champa occasionally allied with the Khmer Empire against Dai Viet, creating a dynamic regional balance. However, these alliances were often fleeting and opportunistic. For instance, in the 1120s-1140s, there was a period of joint Khmer-Cham attacks on Dai Viet, but Champa also became a target of Khmer expansion. The Mongol invasions. The arrival of the Mongol armies posed a common threat to both Dai Viet and Champa. Both kingdoms initially resisted, leading to brutal invasions by Kublai Khan's forces. Tran Dynasty's defense, Dai Viet. Under the Tran Dynasty, famously repelled 3 major Mongol invasions, albeit at great cost. Champa's resistance. Champa also faced Mongol incursions, demonstrating fierce resistance. While the Mongol threat temporarily diverted attention from their rivalry, it also highlighted the military capabilities of both states and, in the aftermath, left them both somewhat weakened, contributing to new power dynamics. The 13th century wars with the Mongols, though separate from the Cham Viet conflicts, had indirect consequences, preventing either side from fully dominating the other for a time. Chapter 4. The Resurgence of Champa and the War of Chebong Nga. The 14th century marked a dramatic reversal, as Champa, under the leadership of its legendary king Chebong Nga, launched a series of devastating counterattacks that brought Dai Viet to its knees. Chebong Nga's reign. Chebong Nga was perhaps the most formidable Cham king in history. Recognizing Dai Viet's internal weaknesses, he embarked on an ambitious campaign of retribution and expansion. Repeated sacks of Thang-Long. From 1371 to 1383, Chebong Nga launched multiple large-scale invasions, even sacking Dai Viet's capital, Thang-Long, on several occasions. These attacks were unprecedented in their scale and success, causing immense damage and demoralization in Dai Viet. Death of Tran Duetong. In 1377, during an ill-fated counteroffensive into Cham territory, the Dai Viet Emperor Tran Duetong was killed in battle, a profound blow to Vietnamese prestige and morale. The tide turns. Despite his successes, Chebong Nga was eventually killed in 1390 during a naval battle. His death was a critical turning point. Without his leadership, Champa's aggressive expansion immediately waned. Chebong Nga's wars showcased Champa's military might when unified under strong leadership, pushing Dai Viet to the brink of collapse and exposing its deep internal vulnerabilities. Chapter 5. The Final Blow, Lê Thánh Tông and the End of Champa. The 15th century delivered the final, decisive blows to Champa, orchestrated by the powerful and ambitious Dai Viet Emperor Lê Thánh Tông. Lê Thánh Tong's reforms. After centuries of internal strife and Mongol-Cham wars, Dai Viet, under the early Lê dynasty, especially during the reign of Lê Thánh Tông, underwent significant reforms. He centralized the administration, strengthened the military, and promoted a strong Confucian orthodoxy. This created a powerful, unified state, poised for aggressive expansion. The 1471 invasion. Following renewed Cham raids and perceived provocations, Lê Thánh Tông launched a massive invasion in 1471. His army, estimated to be over 250,000 strong, swiftly advanced on Champa's capital, Vijaya. Siege and fall of Vijaya. After a brief but intense siege, Vijaya fell on March 22, 1471. The city was sacked, and tens of thousands of Cham people were killed or captured, including the Cham king, Tra Tuan. Dismemberment of Champa. The 1471 campaign marked the effective end of Champa as an independent, powerful kingdom. Dai Viet annexed most of its northern territories, including the crucial Vijaya region. The remaining Cham territory was reduced to a small vassal principality, which would gradually shrink further in subsequent centuries. The 1471 war was cataclysmic for Champa, leading to massive demographic shifts, the destruction of its cultural centers, and the beginning of its eventual absorption into the Vietnamese state. Conclusion: a legacy of expansion and disappearance. The centuries of wars between Dai Viet and Champa represent a tragic but pivotal chapter in Southeast Asian history. For Đại Việt, these conflicts facilitated its relentless Nam Tien, pushing its borders steadily southward and shaping the modern geography of Vietnam. For Champa, it was a long, drawn-out tragedy, leading to the loss of territory, population, and ultimately, its independent political existence. While the Cham people and their culture persist today in Vietnam and elsewhere, the grand Hindu-Buddhist kingdom that once rivaled Đại Việt faded into history. These wars underscore the often brutal realities of state-building and expansion in ancient times, where the ambitions of one power could lead to the demise of another, leaving behind a complex legacy of conflict, conquest, and cultural transformation. What aspect of these wars do you find most compelling? Share your thoughts in the comments below.